Waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch third-party Transformers review. And today on the table, we have Fans Toys FT-48X Jive, which is their take on a masterpiece Jazz in toy deco. That's right. So we got the Toon Deco Jazz last year, or Jive last year, FT-48. And this video holds kind of a significance for me because if you started with me on the channel, you would know that Jive FT-48 is one of my very first reviews on the channel. My very first new figure, one of my very first new figure reviews. I forgot I reviewed Shock Warrior as the very first review. He was new at the time. But nevertheless, so again, about a year later, here we are full circle taking a look at the Jive in toy deco, and kind of cool because I've gotten a little bit more experience in this, so hopefully it'll go over smoothly. I'll put a link in the description to FT-48 down below. And of course, I did do a formal unboxing for this. There's a lot to go over, so I am going to take a quick spin of the box so you can check out the full unboxing. I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check that out. So let's do a quick spin of the box and move on to the figure. So of course, we have the toy on the box. On the previous Jive, it was a very nice animated shot. This is the toy right there. Robot mode, car one, FT-48 Fans Toys 2023. Spinning around. We got Jive on the side. Spinning around. You can pause and read the description if you like. It is the same as FT-48's, and then you got all kinds of cool shots of the toy itself. And then of course, Jive FT-48X. Then you got him in car mode, that beautiful Porsche. You can use the link to get to the video instructions. And then on the bottom, him in car mode, same thing. So there we go for the box, and let's move right in to Mr. Jive X. And I'm gonna start off straight. Let me move the camera down. This figure is freaking gorgeous. I wasn't sure I'd like this figure anywhere near as much as I do, but he is absolutely stunning. So you can notice on the chest that he does have a nice pearlescent type paint. It's kind of a muted white against a nice, it looks like a very nice glossy blue right here where the number 4 is. That looks really good. Stripes front and center. Got Martini Porsche, as I said in the unboxing. I know a lot of people were worried about this, but they did spell Porsche right. If you've seen the promo shots, it spells Porsche, P-O-R-C-H-E. So there you go, if you were kind of holding off on that. And then of course you got all the sponsor logos on the side looking all good. Then of course you have the nice transparent blue for the headlights. The once gray is now painted silver on the lower belly, and it pops. Let me tell you, this really pops. This actually makes the figure for me. I really dig this. Moving on down, you can see the same silver has been applied to the shins, the feet, the bottom of the foot, and then of course you got a silver paint with with kind of an arrow right here on the shin per the toy. Got that blue, which was in the previous, looks really good. Got a nice got a nice glittery feel to it. Same with more fluorescent white on the forearms, on the thighs, looking really sharp. And then of course you see the gold wheels hanging out right there. That just looks stunning. Martini Porsche on the side where the wing hangs out. We'll get to that in car mode. Then if you turn it out, I mean, you can see for the most part pretty clean back, just like FT-48. Looks real good. A few screws sticking out, but nothing. It's black screws in black, so it looks really good. And that is just absolutely stunning. We'll check out the rest of the details in car mode. Face sculpt, good as ever. Again, that's one of the things that draws me to this figure, is just how good his face sculpt is. It looks really superb. As for the articulation, the head swivels from side to side. Swivels nice and easily too. He can look up quite a ways. You can bring it down so he can look down as much as you want. This is more for transformation. The arms, now on my Jive, these were tight, but they have fixed these since. So FT-48, you can see these things just move so easily now. They go all the way around. They go out all the way. He does have a bicep swivel. He can also get you a single jointed elbow. They get you a yeah, and then of course or as Jazz would say, yeah. And then of course we have just a hinge at the base of the fingers, and you can see he's got the 3 on one and then 1 for the trigger finger. So there we go for that. And the wrists do articulate side to side. Moving his arms out, he does have a waist swivel, swivels very nicely. He does have an ab crunch that is really good. And then of course you do got these guards on his thighs that move out. We'll get these out of the way, and so we can see nice clickety-clackety ratchet for a fusion kick. Nice clickety-clackety ratchet for a fusion back kick. He can do dance moves. He can bring him all the way out for all the way out to the side. He does have a very nice slide solo. Everything moves nice. You see the knees a little bit tight, but not too much, as he gets you more than the full. And then of course, this likes to come out, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about that right now. And then of course, he does have a toe tilt, and of course, you can detach this. You don't have to keep it all the way attached, and then he can go down some. He can go up some, and there we go. And again, that is just absolutely superb. It seems like they fit like a lot of the stuff that was a complaint. It's almost like FT-48 was the test bed. So really cool. And there we go for articulation. And now we got his gimmicks as accessories. And of course, if you know FT-48, you know he comes with quite a few. So here we go. You can, of course, since this is the toy version of the figure, you can give him his signature door wings. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up the back hatch right here. We're going to bring out the door on this hinge right here. So it's going to come all the way out. Like it's got to kind of maneuver under here, and it's just going to come out and kind of snap into place right there. It's a very light snap. And then of course you rotate the door up. It's going to unlock on this tab right here. You rotate it up on this hinge right here, and that is one door wing deployed. You can kind of leave it up like that. And then of course the other one, you're going to move it out on this hinge right here. Got to move it under. There we go. And then of course you can move out on this hinge here, and it's just going to come out like that. And then you can close up the back hatch, and there we go. He's got his toy Deco door wings Martini number 4 on the side, looking really good. I love these decals. They just absolutely pop. And of course he does come with his rifle, and this is exactly the same as you get with FT-48 Jive, excuse me. Got a little bit of molded detail, but mostly void of detail. Is just trying to be accurate like the show. And of course that will fit into either hand, and we're going to do it in this hand because we got a surprise with the right hand. And you can see he's got a tab right there in the arm, and you're just going to open up his little claws right there, and you can get this and it will tab right in, and then you can close up the hand around the gun, and there we go. And he will hold that nice and firmly, and there we go. Oh, came undone. Hold on, technical. There we go. There, now he'll hold it nice and firmly. So there we go for that. And of course, you can give him his shoulder cannon, which is a point of the toy. And the cool part about this is the missile area is now nice and shiny. You got some gunmetal style paint on the rest of the weapon right here. Lots of molded detail. And of course, you have these hooks on back, and that'll just plug right into one of the hooks. And you can kind of give them... This is kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll do it. There we go. He's trying to make a liar out of me. And there he is in full toy form. Look at that. But we are not done. Oh no, we're going to take this shoulder cannon off because he does come with his own sound system. He wouldn't be Jazz if he didn't. And they are done like the FT-48, except for the chrome on the back area of the speakers. The speakers are still in a nice chrome blue, and they do move on a ball joint so they can articulate, and those mount in similar fashion. You're just going to take them to these back hooks, and you can just mount them on if it doesn't make a liar out of me. And there we go for that. Same thing for the other one, and we're just going to mount that. Oop. There we go. And now he is ready to blast some tunes. And then of course we do have some alternate faces. They are exactly the same as you get with FT-48. You of course have my favorite face, the Jazz face. And then of course you have the very worried face. We're going to give him his happy face real quick. And how you do that is you're going to kind of pull out his head. You can kind of activate the look up, and he will go way up, and then you just have a connection up top, and you could just kind of wiggle that out. It is a lot easier to get out than it was on FT-48. It seems like they've loosened up, made some fine-tuning adjustments to this, and you just plug the other one right in, and there you go. He's happy to be blasting some tunes, and that is exactly how I think of Jazz. And of course, he does have one more accessory, his signature grappling hook, which you did get with FT-48. You had all these with FT-48. There are no changes made to this, and all you got to do to get this working is you can move out the arm, close up the hand fully, and then of course you're going to activate his part of his transformation. So you're going to fold in the hand just like that. Just like that, except it's trying to make a liar. There, you gotta turn the hand, there you go, you gotta turn the hand around. My apologies, it's been a hot minute. And then you're just gonna plug the, and there you go. And of course, this will actually hold him up. He'll actually be able to hang from some stuff. Take a look, we'll show that real quick. And of course, you can see I'm kind of using my finger to keep him from moving, but there he is. He is just hanging out on the bottom of my desk there, the FC Finch studio. So that is really cool, especially crazy how this cable has the capability to hold up this massive figure. So really nice touch on Fans Toys part. So he's spinning around. Moving on to comparisons, and we're going to do a couple. We are going to spend a little bit of time here. And first, we're going to bring in Fans Toys FT-48, which was the Toon release last year. And of course, they are set up in the toy mode, since this is the review for the toy deco version of the toy. And the first thing you notice is the more vibrant colors on the upper torso and on the forearms of the FT-48 versus the more muted, more pearlescent white coloring and darker blue on the 48X. And of course, if we move down, we can see the more vibrant silver on the 48X versus the more matte silver on the shins and the lower belly of the FT-48. I'm going to be honest, I like the coloring on the 48X a bit more, and I really think it actually would have worked here. It would have been added a little bit more pop to the FT-48, and it wouldn't have stood out too much. It wouldn't have been too radical of a change, in my opinion. Moving to the side, the obvious door decals and whatnot. Same thing for the chest decals, and of course you see the gold spoked wheels on the 48X. Also, we see the launcher differences. We see the chrome silver for the launcher on the 48X and a bit more of a vibrant paint on the, it's very hard to tell, but it is a bit more vibrant on the barrel section versus the silver paint. And then of course, moving to the back, we see the obvious decal differences, both just as clean of a robot. We'll get to the other differences in car mode. And there we go for the Fans Toys FT-48. And then of course, the last one I want to bring in is the Make Toys Downbeat. And right away, we can already see that the Downbeat also uses the same more vibrant colors of the Fans Toys FT-48, but it does of course adopt the silver. The Downbeat of course giving you kind of the best of both worlds. You see that it has all the decals. You see that you have to pay for a completely different figure to get the door decals on the Fans Toys, whereas the Make Toys, they give them to you, and they also give you the option to put the decals on. So Make Toys really trying to take on the best of both worlds. The thing I like about the Fans Toys more is the face is more profound, as we saw on the FT-48, and I also think the body lines flow just so much better, whereas Downbeat sort of like nice flow, stop, flow, stop, and then just goes all the way down. Moving to the side, again, I think the Fans Toys just pulls everything off a little bit cleaner. And moving towards the back, we can see very similar and both attacking in different ways. I really do like how both turned out, both very clean in that regard. And there we go for comparison. And there is Jive in his beautiful Porsche 935 alt mode, now complete with Martini Racing livery. And I just want to get this out right here. Short of Takara making a Wheeljack 2.0 or a third-party company attempting the Lancia Stratos Wheeljack, I hereby dub Jazz as the best alternate mode of any Transformer. This just looks absolutely sublime. And I want to tell you another thing. When I started Masterpiece collecting, I was looking for the perfect Jazz with the right blend of cartoon and robot mode, but enough toy with the racing livery in his alternate mode. And nothing has checked all the boxes until now. The Make Toys Downbeat was a great contender for a while, but I think Fans Toys just killed it with this entry. The paint on the decals, on the body, all the little adders here. You got some black for the vents, you got silver for the little hood latchings. This was previously white on the FT-48, and it's just a symphony of magnificence. Again, you got the transparent plastic for the doors, the gold spokes for the wheels, just like the FT-48 cleans up nice at the bottom. His head is visible, but you got that nice silver paint down there. And then of course you come to the back, you got the shell decals, previously unseen Martini Porsche Dunlop there on the rear quarter panel, and then Martini Porsche. My back end doesn't like to stay tethered, but it doesn't do it on the FT-48 either. Got the little exhaust tip detailed out there. I really dig that. And then of course the striping all along the back, just magnificent and gorgeous. Martini number 4, got the vents along the hood, now painted in black, and again, just absolutely beautiful. He does roll. Mine doesn't roll easily on this table, but he does roll just fine on the carpet, better than the FT-48, and this ultimately went together better than the FT-48. So again, I feel that if you get this, or if you even get the reissue of the FT-48, they have made some improvements to the tolerances. He does still store his weapons, so of course you have the clips on the back, and all that's going to do is that's going to clip right into the back of the wing, just like that. Same thing will do the other one, and again, we can just clip that right along back there, and now he's ready to blast some beats, and that is absolutely cool. And again, it's goofy as hell, but he does in the show, so I might actually display him like that. And he can of course display his launcher and his gun. You just combine the launcher and the gun. You got a peg on the launcher, you put it into the port on the gun, and you notice you got the same bracket on the launcher, and you're just going to go to the center of the wing, and we'll get that clipped on there, and that looks totally ridiculous. I probably will never display him with the launcher, but nevertheless, if you want weapon storage, he can definitely do that at the expense of looking a bit silly, as with all the Autobots. And for a couple quick vehicle mode comparisons, again, we're going to bring in the same players. There is FT-48, and yeah, it's just crazy how naked FT-48 looks side by side with the Martini Porsche. And I know some may prefer this aesthetic. This was the more bland G1 aesthetic, and that's right, because it still does look beautiful. I mean, no matter which version you buy, it looks beautiful in my opinion. But me personally, I prefer the livery and the more subtle tone of white on the FT-48X. There's the back end. Again, you can see they both have the issue with the rear end not wanting to tab together. And again, the rear end of the FT-48X just looking more lively, and also the rear, the wheels and tires, the wheels on the FT-48X just again more lively with a lot more detail. And yeah, and there you go. And then of course we're going to also bring in Make Toys Downbeat, and again, this was the previous reigning champion. I still think the vehicle mode in Make Toys really stands up. You can see he does have the gold spoke wheels, a bit more detailed than that of the Fans Toys. Got the Meister livery, but of course you have to add your own decals. That can be a bit problematic. Doesn't have the paint along the vents either. He does got the striping that looks very, very good, and I kind of like the aesthetics just a bit more. The body lines on the Make Toys. Make Toys also has a bit easier of a transformation, but the FT-48X, they made improvements here that make this a bit easier. Not as easy as the Make Toys, but keep in mind that this is the Make Toys Premium, so this was their second attempt, or they had a chance to kind of go back and make a few changes to tolerances, and this was this is kind of Fans Toys attempt to go back and change some of the tolerances. So there we go, and we'll just get a quick look at the back. The Fans Toys definitely got more detail back there, and I think the Fans Toys does the back end a bit better than the Make Toys. And so there you go for comparison. So let's summarize, and there we have it for the Fans Toys FT-48X Jive Toy Deco Edition, or Fans Toys Masterpiece Jazz take in his toy deco with that beautiful Martini Racing livery. And let me just start with this. When I pre-ordered this figure, I was just expecting, it'll be another Jazz. Jazz is one of my favorite characters, and I get to add to my collection, woohoo. What I was not expecting was to have the best damn Jazz figure to date, in my opinion. Seriously, this thing is gorgeous. I did not think Fans Toys could take an already very good figure with Jive and turn it up to 11. Lots of previous minor quirks and issues with the Jive first release were fixed. Some ratchets were improved, some tolerances were improved. The paint, absolutely beautiful. Chef's kiss. In fact, I really think the silver on the shins and the belly and the white, the pearlescent white, would have worked on the Toon edition just as well. But I digress with that point. It carries over the same great accessories, same great articulation, same great feel. It's a Fans Toys. What do you want as the Tune Edition. And that being said, the alt mode is absolutely gorgeous. Journey getting there. You know what? I don't have too much of a problem with the transformation. My issue with it is that it's not really consistent. Stuff that was easy in one transformation will not be easy in the next, and that's just the way it is. I don't think it's necessarily a hard transformation. It's just really fickle in some cases. There's a lot of awkward movements you got to do, and some stuff that doesn't feel great. But overall, I think it's fun. It's like a puzzle. So there we go for that. And that being said, that is going to conclude this review. Now, I would recommend this, but this is a special edition, so it may be out of stock at many places, including Big Bad Toy Store. But if you're a fan of Jazz, you can get this for a reasonable price. Definitely, I recommend picking it up, or just get in on the Jive reissue, which will likely be soon to follow this. And also, if you found this review fun and enjoyable, hit that like button down below. Also, consider subscribing to my channel. I do Transformers videos once to twice a week. We got lots more on the way, so a lot more for 2024. So definitely consider subscribing. We are growing. Thank you so much to those of you already subscribed. And that being said, I am going to conclude this review. So I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. But wait, we're not done. We are not done. That's right. We're going to do transformation, but I kind of wanted to get all of the typical stuff out of the way, since this is just a repaint, kind of a redo of a previous figure. Now, I did do the transformation from robot into vehicle mode in my original video, so you can check that out. I'll put a link in the description down below. I actually put it in a separate video, believe it or not, because the whole video would have been 50 minutes long because I was experienced at the time. But that being said, today we are going to go back from vehicle into robot mode, so you kind of have a full tutorial. So let's get right down to it. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the wheel wells, and we're just going to kind of work them out of their berth, and let's get the arms out of the way, and then we can kind of pull down on the arm, and there we go. And we can kind of bring this out just like this, so it's not touching on anything. And then we could and then we could rotate the arm around just like that. Same thing for the other side. Let's bring the arm out, and let us bring down the wheel well. There we go. And we can just rotate this around just like that. It doesn't feel great at first. And next, what we can do is we can open the doors, and you just want to pull back to get this little hinge to snap in place. We had to push it all the way in, and then you can flip the side mirror in. You can flip the window in. Same thing for the other side. You can open this up, pull it out. You want to, there we go. And you want to pull that out, flip the window in, flip the side mirror in. And next up, what we can do is we kind of pull out the rear window hatch. So we may need a spudger to kind of do this and kind of get these out of the way, kind of get everything. And we just want to separate the back half from here. And I may actually do this off camera since it's a bit of a pain. And yeah, I think I might do this off camera, so hold on. All right, so we are back, and thanks for bearing with me. You really just gotta kind of pull this out. Again, it kind of is a pain in the butt, one of the butt pucker parts of this transformation, but nevertheless, it's out, so let's move on. We have a peg right here into a port right here, so what we're gonna do is rotate in again, and just peg it right in like that. Same thing with the other side. Rotate in and peg it in, and just we can leave this back here for now. And next up, we have some preparatory work. So bring the arm down. You notice you got this little lever piece right in here, and let's get the arm out of the way so you can see what we're doing. And we're just gonna get a spudger in here and kind of bring this out just like that. Same thing with the other side. Make sure the arm is out of the way, and this piece is kind of started for us, so we can just kind of bring this out just like this. And then what we can do is we can kind of bring up the, we actually leave this like this. I'm sorry. Leave that like so. False alarm. Bring down his belly pan, bring out his belly, and then unfold these pieces right here, and we could leave this like that for now. And the next step is what we want to do is we can break the hood apart if it hasn't done it already, and rotate all this around. You got to kind of snake the head through the front bumper and rotate this all around just like that. And what we're going to do last is you're going to see you have this this kind of pipe, and what you're going to do is you got to bring these pins down on this pipe on both sides. Just kind of bring it down. There you go. Got to kind of be mindful of where your arms are at, and you just kind of want it to be all the way down, just like that. And now what we can do is we can kind of fold in the arms, and you just want these two pegs to line up with this slot right here and right here. So what we can do is we can bring this in just like this. Same thing for the other side. Bring it in just like that, and now we can close up the chest like this. And the last step is we can fold this down just like that, and what you want to do is you want to bring the head up on this piece, and you want to move this forward, and then you can move the head back just like that, and you can bring this up just like this. And lastly, what we can do is we can assemble his belly pan. So you got these two slots right here, you got slots right under here, and you can just bring this all together just like this. Make sure this is all closed up, and we can get the arms into position on either side. And if it hasn't already shut itself down, you can push down to where these are flush like this. And there we go. That's most of his upper body done. So now what we want to do is we want to assemble his back. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up just like this, and you want these two claws to kind of come forward around. You're just going to kind of latch them around, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this forward, and that's going to kind of lock everything down just like this. And then if you want, we can bring up the hood, and we can bring the doors down just like this. They're going to locate in this tab right here, and you can kind of just bring the door in. Same thing for the other side. Watch it locate and bring it in on that hinge, and then you can close up the back just like that, and we are done with his upper half. And now what we can do is we can split the legs. You can kind of bring this pelvic piece out, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring everything down, and you just kind of want to work it slowly down on that hinge right there. Same thing for the other leg, and we're just going to kind of work it down just like that. You can kind of see the legs pull down, and then what we're going to do is we want to have a slot here. We're going to put it in a peg here and move the side fins out of the way. You can kind of rotate the legs down as we do that, get him in a kind of a sitting pose, which will soon be a standing pose once we get him locked in. And then you can bring this pelvic piece down, and that'll lock in the pelvis. And then we can bring down these side pads right here, and then you just repurpose this ab crunch, and then we can unfold the hands just like that. There we go. And now we just have to work on his legs, which we will do next. All right, so we're going to move on to this legs, and these can be a bit tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up. You got the little tab that we're going to break loose right there, and then you're going to move the spoiler up on this hinge right here. Now mine is a bit tight on this side, so just kind of be advised. Next up, what we want to do is we want to kind of open up this panel right here, and then we can kind of get a spudger in and just kind of open up this panel right here. There we go, and you can see it's kind of opened up that connection. And now we can lift this up, and also we can take the sole and put it out, and that's going to give us some more room. We're just going to kind of bring this all back, and what we can also do is we can kind of rotate the foot down, bring the foot out, and just kind of rotate it down to give us even more room just like that. So now we got the whole rear end exploded just like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this, unpeg it, and we're going to rotate it all the way around. And you notice you have a little tab right here, you got a little hole right here, and you're just going to put that in just like that. But before we do, what we want to do is we're going to kind of break open, not literally, the rear wheel panel. And you just notice you got the wheel on this hinge right here, and you're going to open this up, and you're just going to bring the wheel up and over the wheel arch, and you're going to rotate it all the way to the other side just like that. It's not the best feeling, but you're going to leave it just sitting like that, and then you can fold back down this wheel arch just like this. Got to make sure that the wheel is fully on the other side, and then you can tab this in, and you're going to fold this down just like this. And next up, what we can do Make sure all of this is open because we're going to need all the rooms, and we're going to rotate this whole assembly. We're going to rotate it on this ball joint all the way around like this. And again, this is a part where we're bending plastic over plastic. Actually, I think I'm going to rotate it the other way. And there we go. And now let me make sure, because some stuff came untabbed, so we're gonna tab this back in. There we go. So that's sitting just like that. And again, make sure all of this is open just like this. And now we can kind of, before we fold something in, you have this panel right in here, and you're just going to take that and lift it up. You kind of got to get a spudger in here, and it's going to lift up just like that. And that is going to end up tabbing right into here just like that. And now we can close all this up just like this. Bring this out, and it's getting caught up on something, so give me just a minute. Okay, so let's fold this in, and we just kind of want to make sure everything kind of lines up and gets in where it needs to go. And this is kind of a pain in the butt, and there we go. And this is just gonna kind of hang under here, and what we want is we got a tab right here. It's going to tab right into a slot on the kneecap right here. And then we got a tab right here, and it's going to tab in right here along the leg, and we're just going to kind of close the whole leg all up. And then what we can do is we can kind of fold this on the back right here, and we can leave this up. We can fold this in, and we can bring the toe up just like this, and you have this little slot right here. You don't have to connect it. It'll give you a bit more articulation, but I'm doing it because that's the transformation. And then, of course, you can take this and bring it down, and it is just going to kind of seat itself on this peg right in here, right over here. And there we have a leg done. And of course we have to push in. I always kind of take a spudger, and you want to get the leg all set up at the thigh, and same thing for the other side, and I'm going to do that on camera. So what we want to do is let's open up the foot. Let's open this up. Let's open this up. Bring this out just like this, and we can kind of bring the spoiler up, and this one moves a bit easier. And now you can bring all of this up. We can get the toe out of the way and just kind of bring it out. And now we can kind of rotate this out. And while we're doing that, we can start breaking apart the fender, not literally. There we go. There we go. Break out the fender like that. Rotate this down, and now we can open up the fender and bring the wheel over on this piece. Rotate this out of the way and bring the wheel over towards the other side. And there we go, just like that. Close this up just like this, and make sure that you have this tab into this post right here. And then we can rotate these all the way around. Oh, other way. Again, plastic over plastic, not crazy about it, but there we go. And then open this up. And real quick, I just want to point out, you got a little bit of paint over spray, which I think is really cool. They painted all these decals on, so just something I want to point out right there. And now that we have all this open up, just to give ourselves enough room, as much room as we can. Don't forget, we have this panel right in here, which we need to fold up, just like that. And now we can kind of close all this up. Just like that. And nope, just like that. It's making a liar out of me. It's gonna make a liar out of me. And we just want to make sure that it tabs in right along here. And nope, still, okay, good. That wants to go in. And then we're going to connect the, there we go. There we go. And then we're going to tab it in right here. And then we can bring this down. That's going to kind of fold this in. And then, of course, we bring down the little slot. And we rotate that in and just bring this down. And the last thing we're going to do is slot push this forward, get the thigh all lined up. And like magic, there we have Fans Toys Jive X back in robot mode.